Hey guys, thanks for watching the video yesterday. Thank you for all the comments. I saw the majority of them and hearted as many as I could. I appreciate the tips and ideas that you gave in the comments, and even the person who said I need to do more positive news. Well, I do positive things on this channel, but many people really want to know what's happening that they're not getting in mainstream media. Not that it's not out there, because if I'm finding it, it's out there. You just have to look a little harder sometimes. And so I try to do that for you so you don't have to. But I have homesteading videos, I have gardening videos, I have a motivational playlist. So if you're looking for something positive, check out those playlists, you guys, okay? But I cannot allow people to deter me from spreading the news that needs to be known so that we are better prepared. Whether we choose to prepare or not, we at least have the information. So it's your choice what you do with that information once you get it. So what's happening right now is there are 3 things we need to pay attention to, and I'm gonna let this guy tell you what they are, and then we're gonna get into what's going on with South Korea, because this too could happen here if we experience fuel shortage. Right now, I'm seeing fuel prices drop in certain areas. And that's regular fuel. Diesel prices have not dropped, okay? My husband is a truck driver. I know plenty of truck drivers, and I listen to their conversations, and that's what they're talking about, how much the fuel is and how much these loads are paying them, and the struggle to find decent loads to take care of their families, basically. So check out what this guy has to say, and I'll be right back to let you know what's going on in South Korea. Could actually happen here if the Strait of Hormuz is not open back up, if these fuel prices get a little more insane, if this war, the ceasefire, actually picks back up, because I think it's a matter of time before that happens, then we're right back where we started. And we may be facing these shortages that South Korea is facing, and what they are restricting their citizens from doing, we also may be restricted from doing. I told you about that a little while ago, that we are considering that if this war continues on.
Because most people don't need more news, they need the right news. Headline number 1, solar storm alerts are rising again. After the strongest solar storm in over 20 years hit in May 2024, NOAA is once again monitoring geomagnetic storm conditions. That means power grids, GPS, communications, and satellite systems are all back under the microscope. Most people hear solar storm and think pretty lights. Operators hear potential disruption. Headline number 2, more unusual military movement is quietly being noticed. Not panic, not headlines, but enough repositioning, readiness shifts, and strategic movement that people inside defense circles are paying attention. And when the people who stay calm start watching harder, you should too. Headline number 3, supply chain stress is quietly building again. Small shortages, delayed shipments, regional gaps, not enough for mainstream panic, but enough for people paying attention to notice the same pattern returning. And history has taught us something important. Major disruption rarely starts with one giant event. It starts with small things happening at the same time. A flicker, a delay, a movement. Then everyone says, why didn't we see it coming? In spite of the noise, watch the patterns, not the headlines.
So what do you think about what he was talking about? And also, South Korea has introduced the new number plate rotation rules in a bid to keep drivers off the road. So can you imagine if that took place in the United States, with them telling you, hey, if your plate has this number or this letter in it, you can't drive on maybe Wednesday, or you can't drive on these other 3 days here. Can you imagine that? So it comes as Iran reinstated its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz less than 24 hours after it was reopened. So we know that the strait has been closed off. Iran did a blockade. The United States did a blockade. United States actually yesterday took one of the Iranian ships that tried to go through the blockade. Now, a lot of people are saying The U.S. is not going to do anything if Russia tries to move a ship through. The U.S. is not going to do anything if China tries to move a ship through, because China has done that before and the U.S. did absolutely nothing. This is happening, and this is a vital shipping route for so many. And since the U.S. and Israel launched attacks on Tehran 7 weeks ago, strangling the world's oil supplies and driving up fuel prices, South Korea president said the crisis has plunged the country into a war-like situation. So that called for drastic changes. This is a massive storm of uncertain duration, he said, and urged the public to save every drop of fuel they can save. South Korea imports 98% of its fossil fuel consumption, around 1 billion barrels of crude oil each year. They're saying around 60 to 70% of their total crude oil is actually going through the Strait of Hormuz. In response to the crisis, South Korea's government has introduced a new policy for drivers. This is according to the Times. The advisory introduced on April 8th that they're cautioning the public to drive every other day. Vehicles with number plates ending in odd numbers are permitted on odd number dates, while those ending in even numbers are allowed on even number dates. So to make sure that this is happening, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of monitoring going on. So yeah, that would be interesting if they did that here in the United States. So the new regulations are mandatory for state officials and public sector workers, but currently recommended for civilians. Finance minister said the restrictions could be enforced nationwide if crude prices rise around 120 to 130 a barrel, up from the current 100 to 110. Traffic has already begun to drop across the country as a result of this measure. Those traveling the 37 miles between International Airport and the city say their journey time has been more than halved. Many people in Seoul are not driving their cars. It's much quieter. The government intervention has reportedly shielded drivers from the crisis, with no queues at petrol stations because of panic buying. The lines have been really, really long. So South Korea introduced a similar 10-day vehicle rotation system to conserve energy during the 1991 Gulf War. So this is not something that has not been done before. And push come to shove, if we in the United States need to do it, they are considering it. They have had talks about it. This shortage of fuel that is not just in South Korea, it is happening in other places. Airlines across Europe are grinding to a standstill amid the jet fuel shortages. They're also canceling flights as well. The International Energy Agency has warned airlines have just 6 weeks left of fuel as vital supplies remain blocked by the conflict in the Middle East. So right now we are in a temporary truce. It is set to end on Wednesday. They're in talks right now, but word is that Iran didn't even send anybody to the peace talks. So I don't know who they're talking to. Iran is also claiming that they have spent Donald Trump's 2-week ceasefire preparing for war. So they agreed to this, but they only agreed because they're just trying to re-up and redo, and they have a new claim that they're going to do when the ceasefire ends. So the temporary truce ends on Wednesday, with fears the Middle East conflict could spark back into life, with thousands of U.S. troops on standby to launch fresh attacks and smash what is left of Tehran. So y'all, I don't see this ending anytime soon. This peace talk is going to collapse. We can pray that it doesn't, that it goes well, but honestly, I don't see it happening. A second round of crunch peace talks are due to resume in the Pakistani capital, but they have already been plagued by no-show claims. Like I said, Iran has refused to confirm it will attend, even after the U.S. delegation led by J.D. Vance prepared to board a jet for the Middle East. Iran is still not saying if they're going to even be there. Trump has already said it is highly unlikely the 2-week ceasefire will be extended past the deadline, especially if a permanent end to the fighting can't be hashed out. Iran's lead negotiator has now issued a chilling statement saying that the fortnight of no fighting has only helped the regime get back on its feet. They're recharging. They're recharging. The ceasefire is a joke. He just said this. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. No fighting has only helped the regime, he said, to get back on its feet. Speaker of Islamic Republic, Iran's parliament, said Trump, by imposing a siege and violating the ceasefire, seeks to turn this negotiating table in his own imagination into a table of surrender or to justify renewed warmongering. We do not accept negotiations under the shadow of threats. He went on to warn, in the past 2 weeks, we have to be prepared to reveal new cards on the battlefield. So what new cards is Iran talking about revealing on the battlefield when they start back up? This is insane, y'all. You need to be preparing for these things that's going on. So that's why I bring you this stuff. It's not that I'm trying to just bring you bad news, but this is the stuff that is happening right now. And while I do appreciate those who do watch, because it does help my channel grow and get out to more people, so more people can stay informed and then make that decision whether they want to prepare or not prepare, you know, or just blow it off, whatever. It's up to you. I'm not here to tell you one way or the other that this is what you should be doing, even though this is what you should be doing, because we are all adults and we all can make our own decisions for our own lives. But what I intend to do is continue to bring you the news that you can use. And if you can't use it, I do say thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Maybe find something else on my channel. But if it's too much and you can't watch it, then I understand. I understand that it is not for you. Everything is not for everybody. But this is dragging out. And they're saying it's dragging out into a living hell. And the Middle East will all burn is known to be the loyalists of the Ayatollah. Trump bluntly responded by telling John Frederick's media network they're going to negotiate. So Trump's still with the we're going to negotiate. Iran is like, hey, you just giving us time to get ourselves together because we got a new card we're going to throw on the table. So they playing spades or something. I don't know what they're doing, but they're playing with American lives. They're playing with lives in general. Okay, every life matters, and they're playing with it. And people are getting rich from this war. They really are, because if we're only getting 20% of the fuel from through the strait, and I know everything is based on, you know, what's going to happen, and that's why prices do go up. But prices were going up way before the strait was even shut down. And the minute you say war, prices go up. People are making money off of this, and that's what war is. It brings in new laws, and it brings in a lot of money for the people who already have a lot of money. And it leaves the rest of us with a little bit of money because we end up paying in the end. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Y'all take care. Stay safe. I love you, but God loves you more. Remember to put him first. He is the reason for all the seasons, okay? And he is the one that is going to see us through this. He's the one that's going to be victorious in the end of all of this crazy stuff that's going on with this country and the things that they are doing. So again, hit the like. The like helps get it out to more people, and we can all grow and know and do what we need to do to prepare. Y'all stay blessed.
The U.S. Navy has just seized one of Iran's largest cargo ships, the Tuska. Enforcing their strict naval blockade, U.S. forces intercepted the massive vessel. When the Iranian crew defied repeated orders to turn around, the American military didn't hesitate. They blew a hole straight through the ship's engine room, bringing it to a dead stop before heavily armed U.S. Marines stormed aboard to take full custody. This explosive raid comes just hours after Iranian forces opened fire on 2 Indian merchant ships. The absolute chaos was captured in a frantic radio call from an Indian captain.
Sepa Navy, this is Motorangastan Marhadal. You gave me clearance to go. My name second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now. Let me turn back.
Now, while a high-level U.S. delegation is about to land in Islamabad, Tehran has completely refused to enter negotiations. President Trump warns a deal will happen, the nice way or the hard way. Washington is openly threatening to drop bombs again, renewing plans to obliterate Iranian bridges and power plants if the Islamabad summit fails. The war might just be getting started.